Notice to the public. If you wish to address the council, please complete the public wishing to address the council form located on either end of the counter and give it to either the chairman or council clerk prior to the beginning of the meeting. All comments must be addressed to the council as a whole. Addressing individual council members and/or staff is not allowed. Speakers should be courteous in their choice of words and/or actions and comments shall be limited to the issue and cannot involve individuals or staff-related matters. All electronic devices used for communication should be silenced for the duration of the meeting. I'd like to call the Terrebonne Parish Council meeting to order. I have an invocation by Mr. Danny Babin, pledge allegiance by Mr. Babin as well.
Everyone stand and bow your head. Dear Lord, give us the strength to do what's right for Terrebonne Parish, to keep all of our citizens in mind, and to help make this parish prosper. We ask this in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Charlie. Can we get a roll call, please?
I'm sorry, y'all.
You good?
I was in the middle of something. Okay.
Mr. Babin, Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Trosclair, Mr. Pledger, Mr. Harding, Mr. Voisin, Mr. Amity, Mr. Champagne, Mr. Hamner.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, ma'am. Approved minutes of a special session condemnation hearing held on January 27th, 2026. Move Mr. Carl Harding.
Second.
Second, Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Motion passes. Distribute minutes of the regular council session held on February 11th, 2026. That's been done. Approve the manual checklist for December 2025. Move Mr. Carl Harding.
Skip one.
Sorry? Oh, sorry. Approve the minutes of the regular council session held on January 28th, 2026.
So move.
Move Mr. Clyde Hamner, second Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Distribute minutes has been done already. Approve the manual checklist for December 2025.
So move.
Move Mr. Clyde Hamner. Second Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0 and one abstention. Approve the accounts payable bill list for February 23rd, 2026.
So move.
Move Mr. Clyde Hamner, second Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, one abstention. Approve the manual checklist for January 2026.
Move.
Move Mr. Clyde Hamner, second Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 8-0, one abstention. General business. Item A, proclamation proclaiming the month of March 2026 as Problem Gambling Awareness Month in Terrebonne Parish. Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is my pleasure to be able to read this proclamation. City of Houma, Louisiana, Parish of Terrebonne, a proclamation. Whereas problem gambling is a public health concern affecting millions of Americans of all ages, races, and ethnic backgrounds, and whereas problem gambling has a significant societal and economic cost for individuals, families, businesses, and communities, and whereas problem gambling is treatable and treatment is effective in minimizing this harm to both individuals and society as a whole. And whereas numerous individuals, professionals, and organizations have dedicated their efforts to the education of the public about problem gambling and the availability and effectiveness of treatment, and now therefore be it resolved by the Terrebonne Parish Council on behalf of the Parish President, Jason W. Bergeron, and the entire Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, that the month of March 2026 be hereby proclaimed Problem Gambling Awareness Month in Terrebonne Parish, and that all citizens be encouraged to support the National Council on Problem Gambling and other agencies in their efforts to mitigate gambling-related harm from nationwide. Presented this 25th day of February 2026, and is signed by Parish President Jason Bergeron Council Chairman Brian Pleasure, and endorsed by the entire Terrebonne Parish Council. We have someone here to receive this?
Steve. One second, ma'am. We'll get your mic turned on. State your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name's Rebecca Davis. My address is 1114 Caroline Street in Thibodaux, Louisiana.
Go ahead.
Okay, I work for South Central Louisiana Human Services Authority, and I want to thank the council very much for this proclamation for gambling. Gambling is a very serious issue for all of the country, but especially it's more serious in Louisiana. There's about 4 to 6% of the population in Louisiana that are problem gamblers. Some of the things that people don't realize is that gambling treatment in Louisiana it's free. There's no charge to receive gambling treatment. South Central does provide free gambling treatment in all the parishes that we serve, which are 7 different parishes, and we provide treatment for free. There's also an inpatient facility for problem gambling in Shreveport. So we appreciate your support, and thank y'all very much for this. Thank you.
Thank you. Item B, resolution approving the holdings of an election in Recreation District Number 9 of the Parish of Terrebonne, State of Louisiana, on Saturday, June 27, 2026, to authorize the renewal of a special tax therein. Move Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing the lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item C, recognize the loss of Constable Daniel Trahan, who passed away on Saturday, February 7th, 2026, at the age of 77. Ms. Kim Chauvin.
I would like to take a moment to recognize the recent passing of Constable Daniel Joseph Trahan, a man who faithfully served the people of Chauvin and Terrebonne Parish for many decades. Constable Trahan dedicated his life to public service, law enforcement, and the safety of our community. His steady presence, commitment to the law, and care for the people he served made a lasting impact on generations of residents. Out of respect for his family and to properly honor his lifetime of service, the Terrebonne Parish Council District 8 will be presenting a formal proclamation at our March 11th meeting, where his family and members of the law enforcement community will be invited to join us as we recognize his legacy. Tonight, the matter before us next is a necessary administrative step to ensure continuity of service for the residents of Ward 7. While this action is required so that the duties of the office continue without interruption, we do so with deep respect for the years of dedication Constable Trahan gave to this community. His service, his character, and his legacy will be honored in full at our upcoming meeting. So I would like to take the time to say a prayer for their family. So I would ask that you bow your heads in prayer for the late Constable Trahan. Heavenly Father, we come before you with humble hearts as we remember the life of Daniel Joseph Trahan, a devoted servant, a protector of his community, and a man who lived with honor, integrity, and compassion. Lord, we ask that you wrap your loving arms around his beloved wife, Miss Maybelle, his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and all who loved him. Comfort them in their grief, strengthen them in their sorrow, and give them peace in the days ahead. We thank you for the life he lived, for his years of service, his steady presence, his wisdom, and the care he showed to others. Thank you for the legacy he leaves behind, a legacy of faithfulness, respect, courage, and a heart that always sought to help others find the right path. Grant his family comfort in their memories, strengthen their love for one another, and the assurance that his life made a difference in countless lives and in the community he served so faithfully. Lord, bless those who continue his work of service and protection. May his example inspire others to live with the same dedication, humility, and sense of duty. And now we entrust Daniel until your eternal care. Grant him rest, peace, and the reward of a life well lived. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you.
Item D, appoint Elrin Fungi Jr. to serve as Ward 7 Constable to assume the duties of the office left vacant by Constable Daniel Trahan's passing for the remainder of the expired term, December 31st, 2026, in accordance with Louisiana Revised Statute 18604B1. Move Ms. Kim Chauvin, second Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing the lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Mr. Fungi, where's he at? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Come on up to the mic. You got all the time you want.
No, look, I'm not like Jerry Larpington going to talk all night long, believe me. I want to thank, Kim for calling me, and Connie she's late, but she just walked in. I've been in law enforcement 27 years. I've been retired since 2009. And I think a whole bunch of people knew me on the board and says we can't get rid of me. So, I'm sorry. But yeah, thank y'all. And I'm gonna try to do a good job, man. So, and my name is Elrin, not Erlin, like somebody said on Facebook agenda this morning. I got Jason.
Hold on, don't leave. We want to talk now.
Oh,
Hold
and
on,
it's
Danny Babbitt?
Peanut. Everybody knows me as Peanut.
that's what I was
Nobody
waiting
knows
on.
my
I
real
was
name.
waiting on
Look
that.
at him.
Go ahead, Mr.
I
Danny.
was just gonna ask you, can we call you Constable Peanut? Okay.
Let me tell you, I had people calling me at the sheriff's office asking for Detective Peanut. So, yeah.
Retired Detective Constable Peanut, thank you. Congratulations, all right?
There you
Okay.
go. All right.
That's going to
Mr.
be a long name tag. Huh?
There you go. Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I was talking to Peanut before, and I said I knew we could figure out a way to get him out of retirement. So, again, congratulations.
Well, thank
I'm
you.
sure the community is going to benefit from the work that you're going to do down there because your background and your history really fits the job. So when it comes time to run again, get out there and do it again because I think the people deserve someone like yourself to follow a great man like Mr. Trahan.
Yep.
Thank you,
man.
Peanut.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Chauvin?
I want to thank you for taking the call that night and for allowing us to appoint you to this position. I know that there's a lot going on. So I would ask Michelle, is there someone to guide him in what he needs to do, like after this appointment? Because I'm sure that there's probably a few things that he needs to be done, but he needs some guidance on that part.
Yes, ma'am. So his best assets are going to be the other justices of the peace and the other constables in the other districts, and even his own justice of the peace that they've been around a while and they know the ropes. And if he ever has any questions, he's welcome to call my office.
He'll keep you talking. Gotcha.
He's just-
I'll help you out. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, I thought you were calling me to get a street light fix or something.
Thank you. Congratulations, sir. All right. Item number 2, public wishing to address the council. In accordance with Section 2-07E of the Terrebonne Parish Home Rule Charter, the public will be heard and can speak for 3 minutes on any matter related to parish government without discussion or questions and answers on non-agenda items. I have several speaker cards here. Number 1, Ms. April Wallace, a Houma resident, wishes to address the council regarding respect from administration when parish council members are speaking and billing of utilities. Ms. Wallace?
Afternoon, it is April and not April.
I'm sorry, Ms. April Wallace.
I want to discuss about the utility. I went up to pay my utility bill, and I find it was kind of high. So I asked the young lady, was that amount for 2 months? She said no. So I asked her, she said, well, the weather got a lot to do with it, and I understood that. And I asked her, is it for everyone who have, city, the utilities? She said yes. I said, so everyone, I said, well, how many days is it for? She said, for 34. I said, so everyone is on 34 days. She said, yes. So I said, no, that's not true. I already questioned someone, and theirs is 32. So she said, it all depends on where they live. And I don't think that's appropriate. It shouldn't matter where you live. And she asked me where the person lived. I said, in Summerfield. She said, well, that's why they have 32, because it's the area where they live. And my thing is, the days should be the days, no matter where you live. If it's 32, you make it for 32 for everyone that have city. If it's 34, you make it 34 days for everybody that have city. It shouldn't be the area where you live. It should be for everyone. So that's my first point, okay? My second one, I went back and I always look at the meetings. I always look at the meeting. And what I discovered, which is totally wrong, it's a lot of disrespect. And I mean, I notice when people talk, some people is on their phone all day. And my thing is, if nobody ain't dead in your family, you should not be on your phone. It's okay if you get an emergency, but to be on your phone texting while someone, and these are the members up there and here, that's texting. And to me, that's very disrespectful. And if you all go back and look at some of these tapes, you will see where people are texting. And one of the points was when Mr. Harding was talking. It's a lot of texting going on. And it was about Black history. That is very disrespectful to be texting. I listen to everyone when they talk. I don't get on my phone because I might miss something. So I want to hear what everybody has to say because it may be important to me or to the
Motion to extend by Mr. Harding, second by Mr. Hamner. Members vote to machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. You have another minute.
So I just want everyone to give each other respect. It's okay, we're gonna disagree, that's fine. We could disagree, that's fine, but still give everybody the respect that they deserve. Because after all, this is your job. Everyone is getting paid for this. And everyone that don't have a job outside of this, you couldn't do the things that you was doing in here on your phone all day if you was at another job. So this is a job, so treat it as a job and treat everyone with respect. And that's what I really want everyone to do. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I have several other speaker cards. However, they're item specific, so we'll just address those items or those speaker cards when they come up. I have a motion by Mr. Clayton Wazan to go out of regular order, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Out of regular order, we'll go down to item 3, committee reports, Community Development and Planning Committee, 22326, Mr. Kevin Champagne.
All right. This is for the Community Development and Planning Committee. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Community Development and Planning Committee held on Monday, February 23rd, 2026, and I have no public hearings.
Motion by Mr. Champagne, second by Mr. Trosclair. Members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item B, Budget and Finance Committee, 223-2026, Mr. Clyde Hamner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion that the council accept and ratify the minutes of the Budget and Finance Committee held on Monday, February 23rd, 2026. I have 3 public hearings. Number 1, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: DRA Road Study, $150,000, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 11, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Number two, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: welcome signs, $17,690, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 11, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Number three, consider the introduction of an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget and the 2026 budgeted positions of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following item: sanitation, $115,768, and call a public hearing on said matter on Wednesday, March 11, 2026 at 6:30 p.m.
Motion by Mr. Clyde Hamner, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item 4, streetlights. Approve streetlights installations, removals, and/or activations. No action there. We don't have any streetlights. So, item number 5, appointments to various boards, committees, and commissions. 5A, Parish President Jason W. Bazeron is requesting ratification of his recommendation of Mr. James Goodwin for appointment to the TARC Board. Moved Mr. John Amity. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Congratulations. Is Mr. Godwin in the audience? Okay. Item B, Recreation District Number 8 Board, one expired term. Mr. Benjamin Norman submits application for consideration.
Open closing point, Mr. Benjamin Norman.
I have a motion to open and close and appoint Mr. Norman by Mr. Carl Harding, second by Mr. Clyde Hamner. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Is Mr. Norman in the audience? All right. Item C, Downtown Development Corporation, 2 expired terms, 1 representing the EDAB Council and 1 representing the Historical Society. Ms. Benita Dupree, representing the Historical Society, submits application and resume for consideration.
Motion to open, close, and appoint Ms. Dupre and hold the EDAB position open.
Motion to open and close Ms. Dupree by Mr. Clyde Hamner, second by Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Congratulations, Ms. Dupree. Is she here? No, okay. Item D, Terrebonne Parish Advisory Committee for Disabilities Affairs, 9 vacancies representing each of the following entities: 1 representing TARC, 1 representing START Corporation, 1 representing Options for Independence, 2 representing the parish president, and 4 representing the general public. Ms. Erica Pellegrin, representing TARC, submits application and resume for consideration. Ms. Heather Rogers, representing START Corporation, submits application and resume for consideration. Ms. Tracy Alexander submits application for consideration. Ms. Erica Lambert, representing the general public, submits application and resume for consideration. Ms. Tiffany Alimo, representing the general public, submits application and resume for consideration.
Open closing point, Ms. Erica Pellegrin.
Ms. Rogers to represent START, and Ms. Alexander, Ms. Lambert, and Ms. Alamo to represent the general public and hold over the remainder.
Okay, there's a motion by Mr. Voisin, second by Mr. Carl Harding, to appoint Ms. Pellegrin, Ms. Rogers, Ms. Alexander, Ms. Lambert, Ms. Alimo, and hold the others over. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Are Ms. Alimo? Of course. And Ms. Lambert.
Good evening, council men and women. We thank you for this opportunity and look forward to working with y'all in collaboration for our community, not just the disabled people, but everyone. And you know, you better at this than I am.
Oh, I was just going to say we're excited. We've been already chatting about it, so
We have
here we go.
Thank y'all. Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Mr. Harding?
And yes, to those people that are out there looking, there are 4 more positions that are opening up, and so we're actually looking forward to getting it off the ground. I think Mr. Voisin actually implemented this, so looking forward to working with you, you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6, monthly engineering reports. T. Baker Smith. Move Mr. Carl Harding, second Mr. Voisin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0. Motion passes. Item 7, council members request discussion. Item A, Councilman Steve Trosclair requests discussion and possible action regarding extended couplet system to Howard Avenue. Mr. Trosclair? Okay. All right, I have a couple speaker cards here. Mr. Chris Schwess? Come on up, sir. Name and address for the record, lights green for you.
You got it. I ain't gonna talk too close because I'm hard of hearing and I got a big mouth.
All right, let's hear it.
My name is Chris West. A lot of y'all people know me. I know a lot of you councilmen. I'm probably the oldest man in the building, but I can't help it. I live in 1912 Slater Street on East Park Avenue. I can throw a rock and hit the East Park Recreation Center. Just to give it, Slater Street is the parallel street to East Park Avenue. It's just, I found out 10 days ago that they're looking at one-way East Park from Howard all the way to the Deckville Bridge. And I'm all for it, but the problem is I found out that back in 2015, they tried to get it passed. They wanted a one-way East Park to Deckville Bridge. But the people, and I'm not quite sure who, because wasn't involved in it, they said they were supposed to put the bridges before they put the one-way. So that's my biggest complaint is that they're looking to, do something that all the East Park Recreation Center residents from Howard Avenue all the way to Oak Street on the Intercoastal just got one way out, and that's west. And when, God forbid, if the East Park Recreation, the Deckville Bridge breaks again for 8 months, but Mr. Parish President says it's not gonna happen, but he said if he got to, he's gonna direct traffic. That'll really cause a problem for the East Park residents, from Howard all the way to Oak Street, because the part of the problem is, besides us having to leave home, can't go to Rouse's, gotta go over the Intercoastal Canal Bridge, across the by Terrebonne, come back over the Intercoastal Canal Bridge, just to get to Grand Kyle Road. And from my house, I can throw a rock on Grand Kyle Road. With a little traffic, you're talking about 10, 15 minutes. But the other big problem is emergency vehicles. If somebody has a heart attack, if somebody has a stroke and they need oxygen, if God forbid, if your house catches a fire, and you got to come, if the ambulance or the fire truck got to come from wherever, can't come over the Deckville Bridge, or if they can't actually turn right because it's going to be a one-way. They'd have to go all the way around the South Van or Howard Avenue to come back around. An extra 15 minutes can be a thing of life or death, or your house burning all the way to the ground. 15 minutes ain't long, but 15 minutes is a lot of time. So, I'm 74, lived in 9 different houses in Terrebonne Parish. I'm a retired building contractor. I lived on 311. I lived in Martin Foster's. I built half the condos and all at Tropical Harbor, I believe what they call that. I lived on East Park Avenue. Lived in Dulac for a while. I lived all over the parish. So I'm not one person to step backward. I love to step forward, but stepping backwards is, on East Park Avenue for right now, it's just choking us that we can't swallow it. And I'm not sure what can be done, because I talked to some DOT guys, say, well, I think they're in the process of doing it now. But the problem is we need bridges. And I know the other problem is the marine traffic. And I'm not here to get involved in that, because I got a brother lives on by Terrebonne, used to park a boat there. The big thing is now, need to be fixed bridges, because I know, every bridge that they put a cross bridge for us to get across from Park to Maine would probably be a lot cheaper, not probably, would be a lot cheaper for fixed bridges. But just to give you a little note, on the west side, everything one way both ways, but there's 22 fixed bridges from the foot of the overpass all the way to the mall, and we got none. So, so I taking in consider, I got my Bowman clan with me. They East Park, born, raised, and gonna die on East Park Avenue. I think one of them gonna speak. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
That's all.
The other speaker card I have is Mr. Chris Bonvillain, maybe?
Yes.
All righty, sir. Name and address for the record.
Chris Anthony Bonvillain, 9825 East Park Avenue, Houma, Louisiana. I'm lifelong resident of Deggville. Deggville is basically from Howard to the Intracoastal and across the Intracoastal Canal. I agree with everything Mr. Swesh has said, and I want to carry it a little bit further. Okay, the meeting we had from the DOTD back November 20th, 2024, I got a letter at my house at 9825. Now, I do have a rent house in the area that's mostly affected. On that letter, it had the place and the date. It did not have a time. It did not have a phone number for us to call to find out what the time was. I had to call my brother, who is the president of the East Park Community Center, and ask him, because the meeting was being held there. He said, yeah, the meeting's from 4 to 7. I've also found out by asking people in the area if they got a letter. 95% of the people I asked did not get a letter. When we had the meeting, they had a little display of the different projects associated with this, all the way from Terrebonne High School to Howard Street Bridge. They had a little video that lasted maybe 2 minutes. They had no public speaker, and we were told to fill out a form if we were for or against it and the reason, which I did, my wife did, my brothers did, and I just feel like this was rammed down our throat. I don't appreciate it. In that area that I'm talking about, we feel like we boxed in. Okay, you already took our fire department away. That, I believe the property that it was sitting on was donated by the East Park Volunteer Fire Department. And so in case of emergency, like he was saying, you have fire, police, or ambulance. My mother was ill at the time when I went to the first meeting. She has since passed recently. But anyway, I feel that,
Take your time, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Take your time.
That if something happened, okay, right now, if an ambulance had to get there, they would have to go to Howard Street Bridge. If the Howard Street Bridge, since it's a navigable waterway, if it was closed to allow boats to pass, or it was broken, just like the Deggville Bridge was broken at that same time for 9 months, they would have to go all the way to Prospect and back, which is 1.2 miles one way, 1.2 miles back. That person would have time to die. And that's what I'm concerned about, or in case of a fire. But anyway, we also had a meeting with the parish president on April 29th. Okay, I said, it sounded like to me, well, they were saying that the fire department, the police department said they would go against the traffic if they had to get to a residence. That's fine and dandy. The ambulance department, I said, well, I could see, maybe the police department doing that, or maybe the fire department, but I cannot see Acadian ambulance doing that. So I asked the guy that was representing Acadian ambulance at that meeting, I said, sir, what would you have to do if you went to Howard Street Bridge and it was closed for either repairs or just to let a boat pass? He said, I would have to go all the way to Prospect and back. I think that's unfair to the people that lives in this little community. There is quite a few people that we only have one bridge to cross to get to anywhere else on the east side of Houma, is the Deggville Bridge at Grand Caillou Road. I told them they need to put a turning arrow because you're gonna have a whole lot of people and the traffic's gonna be backed up. Because there's a whole lot of people that live from Howard Street to Oak Street in that general vicinity. I also mentioned to the parish president at that meeting, I said, there's a road, Robert Street runs alongside the East Park Community Center and Recreation Center. And it goes all the way to the back to East Homer Elementary. I proposed that he would consider building a road, a bypass. The guy that owns the property is Mr. Gadry, and he owns all the property all the way to Howard, and you would have a bypass from Howard to the back of Slater Street where the trailer park is, and we would have a way of getting in and out of that area. We wouldn't have to rely on just one little bridge that's sometimes open for traffic, boat traffic, sometimes not. But I know, someone said, well, that's the price you have to pay. Few people have to suffer for the other people to be able to have a better route. But anyway, I just want to know from the parish president if anything has been done to consider the bypass that would make our lives a lot better in that particular area.
All righty, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Bergeron, you want to address anything? Yeah, it's an agenda item.
Just want to make sure I wouldn't break any rules. So yeah, I've definitely looked into that, and it's something we're working on. And unfortunately, that stuff does take a little bit of time to happen, but it is on our list of opportunities for a road like you're talking about.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Trosclair, you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Okay, I've got several calls from residents of Dagville area, Mr. Schwess, Mr. Ruben Balderland, and a couple other people called since the meeting, and I'm in total agreement with them. I just, Mr. Balderland, hinted on the fact, of the Howard Avenue Bridge. If that thing would get out, that would be a total, it would break similar to what the Dagville Bridge did, or I guess the Dagville Bridge, the one at Grand Collier. That would be a real safety hazard for those people in that area, for fire, medical emergencies, law enforcement situations. I invited, is anybody from DOTD here? Okay, okay, Jake, I didn't see you there. Talking to to the residents that I've spoken to, I agree that it could be a real hardship on these people in certain times. Just thinking about it myself, and I don't know, I think maybe Mr. Bergeron, we kind of hit a little bit about it the other day. I'm not sure if we talked about it, but anyway, I think a scenario could be where make Main Street one way to Howard and let Park stay two ways from Howard to Dagville.
Amen.
That could be a solution that would alleviate their concerns and potential issues and still move traffic at a faster clip coming to and from the city. That's pretty much all I got to say. Jacob, if you want to come up.
Yes, come on up, Jake, you're good. Name and address for the record, sir.
You want my personal or work address?
Work's fine.
Jacob Orkow, DOTD, 5056 West Main.
Okay, go ahead. Whatever you want to share, if you want to share.
Well, and I guess I've met with Mr. Schwess and Mr. Balderland about their concerns. I guess my comments to that is the marine traffic in the area is very light. We're looking at probably a couple openings at Dagville and Prospect a week. Howard has a little bit more traffic. They're probably in the 12 to 15 openings in a month. So you're still looking maybe a boat opening every couple days. It's not, I guess the opportunities for it to break are very far in between. Can't say never. We've all witnessed the Dagville debacle last year. But like President Bergeron said, I don't foresee or assume anything. These are not our problem bridges.
Yeah.
There are bridges in the parish that we have other issues, major issues with. These are not them. The alternate routes from Dagville is 3/4 of a mile to Bayou to New Orleans Boulevard. It's a half mile to Howard, and it's a mile to Prospect. It's not 20-mile treks. When Robinson Canal Bridge was out, those residents had a 25-mile detour. We did have a public meeting in 2024. We advertised for it in the Houma Courier. We sent out, South Central Planning sent out Facebook posts, 16 Facebook posts the month leading up to the meeting. We sent out 100 letters to various residents. We had signs at the community center. We tried to notify as many people as we could for this meeting. I guess also to go along with the boat openings at the bridges, both the Dagville and the Howard bridges have morning and PM curfews, so that they will not open to a boat during the morning and the peak traffic, people going to and from work. The Prospect Bridge is actually an 8-hour bridge. It operates from 9 to 5. So outside of those times, it's not going to open to a boat. After 5 p.m., before 9 a.m., it will not open to a boat.
Jacob,
Sir.
like using the comparative to the Boudreaux Canal Bridge is kind of apples and oranges, because there was no other options in that area where we do have
Correct.
other
No,
options.
there is. Yeah, and that was just
Yeah,
to
so,
show
I
that
don't think that was a real good
there's other
comparison.
detours. There's other scenarios with much longer detours.
Correct. Thank you.
All right, if you guys, Mr. Harding?
Yeah.
I guess we're good, Mr. On Cal.
Yeah, we're good. I can just make a general.
Unless Mr. Chauvin. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not good. I need to talk.
Go ahead. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, it's nothing directed to you,
That's
what I mean?
all
So I won't ask you any questions. I just want to make a statement. So
Okay, go.
unless Ms. Chauvin wants to ask you, she may. Yeah.
He mentioned Boudreaux.
All right, Mr. Harding,
Yeah.
you like, you're saying?
Yeah, I
You
want
want
my, no.
Oh, you want to go now?
Yeah, well, she's talking about Boudreaux.
No, I'm not. No, I'm talking about this. Go ahead, it's your turn.
Okay. First of all, I kind of go along with the lines of Mr. Trusclair. If the Dagville Bridge opens up twice a month, twice a year, if it breaks one time, it can be out for 9 months. The other part about that, the scenario is that Mr. Bonvillain had made mention is the possibility of perhaps tabling it such until we figure it out and see how DOTD and the parish government with the possibilities. I used to be a fireman. I have a fondness of the Dagville area because that was my area. I know Robert Street, even Connolly Street. The possibility if that happens, Connolly Street may have to be turned into a two-way street because down there by the school you can't get back to Park, so you're still gonna have to go back around. So kind of similar to what Mr. Trusclair is saying is the apples and the oranges and how we satisfy the citizens of Terrebonne Parish. And I know numbers look fine, but then we got people sitting out there in the audience, and that's what we want to be concerned about. How we as a parish, number one, parish president and the council can actually help these people out with the possibility of Robert Street, or how DOTD can assist us in whatever we possibly could do with a better case scenario. And basically, that's my opinion on that.
Good, Mr. Harding?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Chauvin?
So I know Upper Caillou goes to school in the back part of.
Ms. Chauvin, we're talking about the couplet at Howard Avenue. That's what your question is to him,
Yeah,
about the couplet?
yeah, because it's gonna affect the school buses going back there. I wanna know about the traffic with all of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see, we're still affected from Ida.
Okay.
Like my kids still have to go all the way to Homer. We travel way far. So I guess, my part is that how will this affect the traffic with the school buses, going into this, because they go into the back, to my knowledge, and how will that affect them?
The back of what?
Like, I mean, the school bus transportation, how is like going one way, so they're gonna have to take a different route now? Because usually they would come out and they would go down. Right?
I know the area.
Go ahead, Mr. Trustway.
Okay. I really don't think it'll affect the buses because the buses be coming north to go to the school.
Okay.
And then they'll enter back onto Park and cross Deckville Bridge like they do now.
Yeah, so
to go back
when they're
out.
at the light,
So where
If
the
that
school's
bridge is
located-
working.
If the bridge is working.
Then if
But
the bridge
is not working,
isn't,
they still gotta do the same thing. They would have to do the same thing even if the bridge is not working. Whether it's.
so imagine it would just be exactly like the west side with
Oh, I
traffic.
see what you're saying.
yeah, you understand what I'm saying? Like, are we gonna put more time on the bus? These kids are already coming all the way
You're
down
right,
from
the bridge is
Chauvin.
out.
So I do have to take that in consideration when I'm looking at this. Because it's affecting like a lot of kids if that would happen. And look, I know that the Deckville Bridge is fixed now, but I'm gonna tell you, I don't have much confidence in our bridges, just because of what I know and how long it takes to get things. So I'm a little worried about that part of it in case something would go wrong. We have a lot of kids that are still stuck coming all the way to home instead of Chauvin, unless they hurry up and build our school.
DOTD can't control that.
But anyway.
All right,
All
you
right.
good, Ms. Chauvin?
Yeah.
Mr. Trustclair?
Jacob, one thing. This determination was made by traffic studies. What were the advantages or disadvantages? I'm sure it was done by traffic studies.
Yeah. Well, we had to model the intersections to make sure it didn't get worse. I guess what's the question?
What's the advantages of doing this?
So the advantages are, I guess, in the current existing system, if someone would go the wrong way, past the couplet, in today's situation, they'd find themselves, head on the elevated bridge structure with no outlet. Whereas with the new scenario, they would be on the on-ground stretch between Howard and Deckville with a shoulder, with driveways, with a bailout location to avoid a head-on collision.
But what's going to stop a vehicle crossing Deckville Bridge, taking a ride onto the oncoming traffic on overpass now? You're still going to have that situation.
Well, someone could always go against the traffic rules, but I guess it's moving the end of the couplet to Howard instead of Deckville.
I totally understand, but I was trying to figure out in my head what's the advantage.
It also moves a lot of the truck movements that are at Deckville today, the turning right to Howard, which is a bigger intersection. So they would jump less curves, do less damage to those concrete curbs that break and eventually cause rocks to fly up to windshields, stuff like that. And then there's residents pulling out of driveways on Park will now be pulling out, taking a right, only looking one way. They won't have to check traffic both ways.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Trustclair, Mr. Voisin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just curious after listening to the residents that if there was any contingency plans for some of the concerns that they brought up, like in the, I guess, uncommon event that possibly the bridge is open for an emergency event, if there was any contingencies to maybe list the residents in that area with 911 or something to that effect to contact the bridge to make sure if they gotta shut a boat down for an emergency vehicle, that could be done? Or in the event that the bridge becomes, or one of them becomes malfunctioning again for whatever reason, are there any contingencies that y'all have in place for those events that would maybe address their concerns?
No, not at this time. We don't have anything planned where we would revert traffic back to two-way traffic or
Yes,
anything
sir.
like that. That could be looked at. Should we have a catastrophic event where a bridge would be out for an extended period of time? I mean, that could always be looked at.
Yes, sir, and I'm just trying to,
Yeah,
you know,
understood.
find a way to, what's being done is being done. To try to find a way to alleviate some of the concerns of the citizens in that area, and I think some contingencies are possible.
And I guess for the record too, I know it was discussed by, I think, Mr. Boisvert, we are putting a left arrow at the Deckville intersection.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you, Mr. Voisin. Mr. Babin.
Yeah, Jacob, the point that Steve, Mr. Trosclair brought up about possibly one-weighing the Main Street side and two-weighing the other side, has that even ever been explored, discussed from DOTD? I think it's a great idea. We say it's a great idea. People are going to take a while to get used to a couplet. Look, I'm old enough to remember when they did the couplet, okay? So, and I know how it was. We all had to get used to it. But to me, this seems like that would be a possibility that we could relieve some of the residents' concerns right off the bat and not create a traffic situation. Because I think, and I don't know for sure, I think the majority of the traffic comes from the twin spans going towards the airport rather than coming from Howard Avenue, let's say, going towards Homer. Am I making sense with that?
Yeah, and I don't know off the top of my head what the traffic
Yeah,
numbers
and
are.
I'm not asking you to quote those things.
No, I understood. I think the splitting the couplet would potential create more problems than good, because the public, I don't know if it was entertained. I don't know. I think splitting the couplet may create more issues than it would help.
And again, as a possibility, but we don't know that. We haven't done a traffic study to see if that,
No,
I'm using the term traffic study. You know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
I understand what you're saying.
But also in any emergency situation with the bridge down, HPD and the sheriff's department, whoever would be the authority there, working with DOTD, would take the couplet away, so to
Yeah.
speak.
I mean, they already do it after
for
Mardi
traffic.
Gras
That's
right now.
exactly right. So, I mean, there are contingency plans. I think that's a novel idea to at least possibly try that. Again, this is a DOTD function, but we as a parish have input in it because it's our citizens, okay? So we definitely want to protect our citizens, for sure. We don't want to create a traffic problem, but if it raises that much of a concern for the people in the area, you know, Mr. Beaumoulin's idea about a diversion road to the back, that's a great idea. It costs a lot of money, and I'm not trying to put money over people's lives. Please don't understand that. Please understand that. But what I'm saying is that doesn't happen overnight either. So if we did this couplet system and then we agreed that we were going to do that, it might be 2 or 3 years before that is done. So I think people are looking for something just as kind of a buffer, and possibly this idea of one way on one side and two way in the other might be at least a possibility for DOTD to look at. So, thank you.
Mr. Babin. Mr. Champagne.
Hey, Jim, thank you for coming. A quick question. When, I know this process probably started in 2014 or even longer than that. When was the last time y'all actually looked at a study of the traffic flow? Because things have, I'm sure it's changed since 2026. We're in 2026 now. So has that been looked at? Like, how long has it been?
Yes, I believe one was done in 23, 24 when this project came to life.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and so then the recommendation at that time was to do this
Correct.
because of, do we know how many traffic accidents has happened on the bridge?
Uh,
Or any stoppages
No, not
that
off the top
have
of my
actually
head.
occurred? Okay. That's all I want to know. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Champagne. Mr. Babin?
Back on. Yeah, one other thing, you know, I did not attend the meeting in that area in 2024, okay? But there was one maybe 10 years ago, 12 years ago at East Park Recreation. And at that particular time, okay, and I know times have changed. At that particular time, they decided that the couplet system would not be a good idea because they needed a bridge because of the distance between the two. So that was brought up at least 10 or 12 years ago when I was on the council. And again, times have changed, as we all agree, and traffic patterns have changed. But again, I think what we're looking for and the residents are looking for is just some kind of buffer. If we can work ourselves into it down the line, it would be better than just, as someone said, ramming it down our throat right off the bat. And I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying that we have a lot of concerns, and those are legitimate concerns. So we're asking DOTD to keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Babin. Seeing no further lights, I guess if you don't have anything else, Mr. Uncal?
I'm good.
All right, we're good. You're good to go.
Thank you, sir.
We have a motion by Mr. Voisin to go back into regular order, second by Mr. Clyde Hamner. Members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0. Motion passes. Back in regular order. 6:30, public hearings. Item A, ordinance to enact a new article and new section 2-590 under Chapter 2 of the Terrebonne Parish Code to provide a process for citizens to apply for the abandonment of public servitudes, right-of-way, and other dedicated properties which are no longer useful or needed for public purposes, and to reserve Chapter 2 I was counting. Reserve Chapter 2, Article Roman numeral 18, Section 2-571 through 2-589. I was counting. All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Inside joke, everybody else. Consider the adoption of the ordinance. First call public. I know we have a speaker card on that. Second call public. Okay. Name and address for the record, sir.
Hi, my name is Martin Beasley, and I am here representing Boudreaux Canal Rentals, which is located at 6304 Tave Drive, Chauvin, Louisiana.
Go ahead.
So I'm here to talk about the ordinance that you guys have before you this evening and how we might make that a little bit better to bring you up to speed on what's happening at Tave Drive. Yes?
Can I pause you for a
You may.
second, Miss? Our parish attorney wants to share something right quick, and then we'll maybe that'll answer a question or two for you, and then we
Absolutely.
can go for it. Go ahead, Miss Michelle.
Thank you, sir. So this did make it back on the agenda for tonight because it was tabled from a previous public hearing. I understand that some of the council members want to meet and maybe make some revisions, and it can't, those revisions need to be done in committee. So at this point, well, my recommendation would be, because we want to possibly look at some revisions, to either take no action on this tonight or to make a motion to kick it to a committee so that it can be sent back for revisions, or take no action and then it would just disappear from the agenda, and then when the revisions were ready, we can bring it back up to committee for reintroduction. I do have some research ready for the council members. My assistant parish attorney, Brianna, did them. I haven't had a chance to look at them yet, but after I look at them, I will get them to all of you and then invite everyone to meetings. I wasn't available at the beginning of February because of an illness, so everything kind of got pushed back. But that would be my recommendation. I don't know if that changes. If he still wants to make a public statement, he's welcome to, but
Okay.
He'll
I
be
would.
back.
I would still
Absolutely.
like to make a public
And
statement.
that's your right. Go right ahead,
Okay,
sir.
as far as the ordinance goes, my recommendation on the ordinance would to be move under section Roman numeral 2, item number J, which would be to ensure that there are no other interests or stakeholders in the right-of-way that's being dededicated or being requested to be dededicated. That should be step number one. We don't need surveys. We don't need legal work until we're sure that all the stakeholders have no objection to dededicating a right-of-way that the public needs. Okay, that's the first step. Okay. As far as Tave Drive is concerned, there was talk at the November 19th meeting about finding the dedication for Tave Drive. Well, Tave Drive was a public street in the year 1894. The U.S. topographic map from 1894 shows a public road going all the way to Bayou Cocodrie. Okay, under Act 15, the year 1930, that roadway became highway number 79 under the state highway system. Okay, and April 22nd, 1966, that roadway was abandoned by the Department of Transportation to the Terrebonne Parish Police Jury at that time. So that abandonment was April of 1966.
Yes, sir, if I may interrupt for a second.
Sure.
So I'm very sorry that I want to interrupt you here. So the issue of Tave Drive is not on the agenda tonight, and I don't think that's something that we can actually address on the agenda. But I do want to ask you again to tell me the section number that you talked about, because I didn't have it open and ready to write.
Oh, it was Roman numeral 2, section J. The parish may abandon only TPCG's rights to property and only the extent that such rights are no longer necessary for public use. It's the duty of the applicant to seek approval from other entities who may have an interest or may have rights to the property.
Thank you.
So-
I didn't catch your your citation, so I wanted to jot it down to look at it.
So I've engaged in this type of thing in other states, and that was always the first step, was getting buy-in from adjacent landowners, from anybody else that had an interest in the property. So as far as Tave Drive, at least please let me bring you up to speed on what happened at Tave Drive.
No, well, we can't discuss the Tave Drive.
We can't discuss Tave
No,
Drive
because
at all.
that's not on the agenda tonight.
Okay, well, it is kind of became the poster child for this ordinance, and it was discussed heavily at the November 19th meeting, and a lot of statements were made at that November 19th meeting that were false.
Excuse me, sir. Mr. Noli Rat.
Thank you, Chairman. I do want to give some credit to what this gentleman's saying. The whole reason why this became an ordinance for adoption is because there was no system for dededications. Dededications would come to administration and say, hey, we would like this property, or we would like you to take this property, with no system in place. So what this man's saying about making sure that your property owners and your neighbors are okay with it is very valid, right? And that is part of what we're trying to propose here too. So Tave Drive was an example, but there were several that came across the administration's desk over the past 2 years that need to be clarified and worked in an orderly manner. That's it.
Okay.
Well, I guess more importantly is what I would like to discuss is the precedent that Tave Drive set. And if it's not the appropriate forum to do it, I will show up at another meeting and I will discuss it as a non-agenda item, if that's okay. But I will be back to inform and to let the council know what has happened on Tave Drive and what the situation is. And I think a very dangerous precedent has been set on Tave Drive involving the citizens of your parish.
Okay. Now, that's your citizen right. You can come back to any other council meeting and address the council
And
on
as I
even
said,
non-agenda items, section 2-07 of
during
the Home Rule Charter. You can
November
come back and
19th
do
meeting,
that.
the Tave
Yep.
Drive was discussed extensively.
Okay.
So, and
So
it
with
was in
that, with
connection
that being
with
said,
this
sir, with that
ordinance.
being said, sir, you
Yes,
can exercise your right at any other council meeting.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Mr. Hamady?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I mean, a simple solution is get this gentleman's information and include him in some discussions. If you could please, sir, get your information to Mr. Noah, sitting right here. That way they can meet with you and, yep, this gentleman right here, get it with him because the information is pertinent and it may apply.
And also, I'd like to entertain that motion.
Just real quickly, sir, You don't have to put this on the agenda as a non-agenda item. Noah. You don't have to put this on the agenda as a non-agenda item. If you want to come speak before the council as a whole, just contact one of us and we can put it on as an agenda item so that discussion on Tave Drive can be discussed. We can't do it in this meeting, but we can for a future meeting. Our meetings are every 2 weeks. Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. And based on legal's advice, I'd like to entertain that motion to, I'm sorry? Hey. But he's got a speaker card. Yeah, I'm just letting him speak. Mr., okay. Mr. Bergeron? Is that his name? No, not, the gentleman who was just here. Beasley, I'm sorry. Yeah, he did. He did fill out one. So we'll
Yes, I
just
filled out a speaker
get a
card.
motion. Yeah, we're going to get a motion from Mr., yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just stand by a second. We got a solution to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, but when you finish this public hearing.
Okay. Second call. Okay, third call public.
Motion closed.
Motion to close, Mr. Harding. Second, Mr. Trosclair. Members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. And, yeah, just hold on, Danny. So I guess now we need the motion to adopt, then, right? Okay, got a motion on the floor by Mr. Amady to send it back to committee, second by Mr. Trosclair. Members vote your machines. Okay, votes 9-0.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we return back to item 2, public wishing to address the council, and entertain Mr. Beasley's speaker court, please.
Thank you. Have a motion by Mr. Amady to return back to item 2, public wishing to address the council, to entertain Mr. Beasley's speaker card, second by Mr. Steve Trosclair. Members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Mr. Beasley?
Okay, again, on Tave Drive, and I'm going to try to make it as short as I can. We've been through the motions. We know it's a public street. We know that the Price Brothers asked that it be dededicated, portion of that, that we know that request was denied. The Price Brothers still blocked the street on or before October 11th. They have occupied that right-of-way ever since, even though it is still a public road according to the parish. So I contacted the parish attorney's office when the Price Brothers told me that they had purchased the property and that the parish had revoked the right-of-way for the public road. I contacted the parish attorney's office. Thank you, Mr. Berthaget, for returning my call and telling me that no, the parish had not revoked the right-of-way to Tave Drive, and requested that any document that anybody had stating that, he wanted to see that document. So I asked Mr. Berthaget what I could do. He said, call the sheriff. Called the sheriff. The sheriff came out. Mr. Price showed him his deed to the property. The sheriff deputy said, there's nothing we can do here, sir. It's a civil matter. You'll have to file suit. Okay? Subsequent to that, Ms. Neal sent an email to the council. I got that email. It gave Tave Drive as an example for a street in Terrebonne Parish that could not be dededicated because it's, again, there for public use. I was also in receipt of the declination response from the parish to Mr. Pellegrin, the Price Brothers attorney. All that happened on September 12th, yet that portion of Tave Drive remains blocked today. I brought the additional information to the sheriff's office. I said, I've got information. The parish attorney says it's a public street. Can we please get the public streets cleared? The sheriff's office says, no, I don't care what information you have. It's a civil matter. You're going to have to file suit. What if I don't have the money to file suit? It's $300 an hour for an attorney. Okay, so the parish in this instance has put the responsibility of restoring public use to a public street on me, a public citizen, because that public use is not going to get restored by the parish. So the parish has now set the precedent that we got two properties on the end of a dead-end street. One guy says, I'm going to take the property. I'm going to take the street. It's mine. The other guy goes to the parish is not going to do anything. If that's an elderly person, they don't have the money to engage an attorney, to file a suit in district court to try to get public use of that public property back. But that precedent has been set now on Tave Drive because the parish has refused to defend the public's right to use Tave Drive. And so later, now in the future, if the parish decides, oh, we're going to start doing this, we're going to start defending the public's right to use these public streets, well, now it's a selective application of the law. Because now that you didn't do it on Tave Drive, can you do it anywhere legally? Because we have an equal and fair application of the law in this country. So if you're not going to do it on Tave Drive, how can you do it anywhere else? Now that precedent is set.
Motion to extend by Mr. Clyde Hammond, second by Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. You have 1 minute, sir. Wait till the green light comes on. There you go.
So in this instance, if the parish is not going to defend the public's right to the dedicated use of a property for public use, then what good is the dedication at all? We don't need an ordinance if a person could just go out and take that street and that public right-of-way, and the parish is not going to do anything about it. Because if the citizens don't have the wherewithal, the financial resources, and the ability to sue in district court that person who's taken the right-of-way, the parish has proven they are not going to act. That's all I have, if you guys have any questions.
We're good. You've shared your information and all that, so hopefully you can get a little bit more dialogue going on there with the administration and get things resolved.
Certainly.
I have a motion by Mr. Carl Harding to return to regular order, second by Mr. Clyde Hamner. Members, vote your machines. Motion, votes 8-0, motion passes. Item B, an ordinance to amend the zoning map of the parish of Terrebonne so as to rezone from R1 single-family residential to R3 multifamily residential, 1128 and 1130 and a half Daspit Street, Houma, Louisiana. Terrebonne Ministerial Alliance Incorporated. Applicant. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Carl Harding. Second, Mr. Clayton Voisin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. Carl Harding. Second, Mr. Clayton Voisin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0. Motion passes. Item C, an ordinance declaring two generators as a package with various components from the Public Works Department as surplus and authorizing said items to be disposed of by any legally approved methods. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing the lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0. Motion to adopt, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0. Motion passes. Item D, an ordinance to amend the Parish Code, Chapter 17, Article 1, Recreation Vehicles and RV Parks, Section 17-01 through 17-12, as per attachment A. First call public. think I have a speaker card too. Second call public. Sir? Name and address for the record. Light turns green.
Hi, my name's Dame Nakan. I reside at 2429 Highway 665 Montague. I'm here concerning the RV parks. I was raised on Island Jean Charles, and I'd like to read this to you guys. Y'all don't have a petition, but I have a petition here with some of the residents. So I'll go ahead and read it. Dear members of Terrebonne Parish Planning Commission, we, the undersigned, support the adoption of RV park regulations in Terrebonne Parish and strongly urge these regulations include Isle Jean Charles. As former resident Isle Jean Charles, our families lived on this land for generations. Our culture heritage is deeply tied to this land. Many of our ancestors are buried there. This land is sacred to us, represents our history and our identity. Most of us were forced to leave our homes because Isle Jean Charles was excluded from Morganza to the Gulf, leaving us vulnerable to health, safety, and environmental hazards. We do not believe the island should now be used for tourism or RV parks after our community was displaced. Such development would dishonor the sacrifices we made and the culture significance of this land. Many of us still own property on Island Jean Charles. We are concerned about the potential for pollution, sewage issues, and environmental that could result in unmanaged RV development. This risk threatens and remains an ecosystem and dignity of our ancestral lands. And I'm only speaking for the island. But I want to thank y'all for the opportunity for me to speak up here today.
Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. Do we have any more, sir?
Good evening, Council. Before I start, I would like to tell y'all that I have admitted into the record to
Excuse me,
Ms.
sir. Name and address.
Oh,
for
I'm
the
sorry.
record.
My apologies.
Oh, you're fine.
Jesse Billiot, 610 Beatrice Street. I'm representing the Pointe-au-Chien Indian tribe. I'm a council member there. I'd like to tell y'all that I've admitted to the record the petition that Chief Nakan had supplied earlier. I'm here to give my support to the Illusion tribe. We're dealing with the same thing too, unregulated parks. I was actually at the committee meeting back in October, on October 8th, and we had decided to include the island, even though we were just going to say everybody within the Morganza levee was going to be regulated, everybody on the outside wouldn't be. But because there are people on the island and there are people that own land on the island, we had decided at that committee meeting that we were going to include them. Now, a week later, while I wasn't there, it was excluded due to somebody said it was similar to that little roadway right here by the courthouse with the lights. Said it'd be too hard to handle because of all the exemptions. They said, oh, well, over there it's so hard to know when to drink, when not to drink with the alcohol laws. So why would we put any more exceptions anywhere else? These people are not exceptions. These people are not an entertainment place. It's a community. And they were, you can say they signed the paperwork, but they were essentially, the government kicked them off their land. They were told the Island Road was not going to be rebuilt. Island Road has been rebuilt time and time again. They were excluded from the levee. Why? We do, and I know it's hearsay, but they do also have support from the Grand Cayuga tribe also. We all see the dangers that these campers can bring to our area. And we're trying to rebuild these communities, and is this the best way to go? Right now, our tribes have rebuilt the school in Pointe-au-Chien, which, by the way, Ms. Chauvin, I don't know how old your kids are, if you don't want to drive all the way to Houma, they can learn French all day long. Our French, by the way. Oh, well, Well, my apologies. But we're also worried that, we want people in our communities that are from our communities. We don't want quote unquote weekend warriors around. I mean, yeah, they go fishing and everything, but do they really understand the communities that y'all represent? So this is the same way we all feel. So I'd like to thank you for your support, and I hope that you make the right decision. Oh, I'm sorry. The section is 17-02. I'm sorry. That's the section in the rules that we'd like to amend to include the island within the protected area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Wazan?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for coming. I'm just curious, is there any common ground at all because I gotta think that the economic development of down there should be a factor in y'all minds as well.
It is.
And
I'm
I'm just wondering, is there any common ground?
Well, and we do have other plans to bring in more money. We're actually working on a few projects right now we're getting grants for and looking at possibilities. When it comes to the campers, I mean, obviously, we don't want any at all, but we're not, not yet, but we may have a lot more government power than we have right now soon, once we get federally recognized. But right now, I mean, we want North Terrebonne and South Terrebonne to be treated the same. We want them all to be regulated. We don't want sewage going all over the place just because they're on one side of a mound, So now going back, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Just a question.
Yes, sir.
Being you mentioned that, so is the biggest issue that it's unregulated? Is that if it was regulated, it would be different?
That's more to the chief's. That's the chief's decision on that part.
Yes,
I think he can give you a better answer. I would say he would tell you no, just because the land is so small as it is. And honestly, because it is so small, there's technically no subdivisions, and I believe it was counted as 10 houses to be considered a subdivision. So that would take up more and more land. So there's nothing stopping somebody else from just giving up their lands. I mean, at this point, we're just taking advantage of poor people.
Okay. And look, I was just asking to see if
No,
there
no,
was some
no.
common ground from an economic
Yes, sir.
standpoint, and or if it's a hard no.
Oh no, yes, sir. And like I said, we're trying to get a store. Like I said, we got the school going. We have a lot of projects that we'd like to bring back and not just Pontchartrain, but we'd like to bring back Montague and Dulac and show all of it. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Voisin. Mr. Trusclair?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair.
You got a question for
me,
Mr. Trusclair?
Either you or me, I'm not sure. It doesn't make any. You mentioned 1702. So what you're requesting is that you take all these exceptions out outside the Morganza, or do you just?
Well, currently, if you're outside the Morganza, you're not protected by the regulations.
The only regulation not protected by the landscape buffers, the landscaping, the setbacks, and the minimum lot size.
Correct, and even
That's-
even still, we want to be we want to treat the island the same way.
Okay, so you'd want that stricken from
Yes, sir.
those exceptions?
Yes, sir. Anybody? So the same rules.
I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I have a couple other issues with the ordinance too. Well, one's a question, and I'm not sure, maybe Mr. Pulaski or somebody would have to answer this one for me. And I got everything mismatched here, so I'm not sure what article it is, but it's item 8, section. This section does not apply to recreational vehicle parks located at least 1,000 feet from the approved subdivision. So that's a whole lot of, pretty much most of the regulations. So yeah, I'm finished with you. You can
Oh,
say-
yes, sir. Okay, sorry.
So, and this is basically the landscape buffer requirements, Chris, recreational vehicles. And it says that none of these restrictions apply to anything that's located over 1,000 feet from an approved subdivision.
Steve, can you repeat your reference point where you're coming from again?
Okay, under the landscape buffer requirements, item D, I'm looking, well, there's a whole list, I'm just 1 through 8, but 1 through 7's requirements, and 8 said, this section does not apply to recreational vehicle parks located at least 1,000 feet from an approved subdivision. So does that mean that none of these requirements would be?
None of the landscape buffer requirements
Would be.
would be required if the proposed RV park location were 1,000 feet or more from an approved subdivision. And just to piggyback on what was said earlier, an approved subdivision for the purposes of this ordinance would be a subdivision approved by the planning commission, but that would also consist of 10 lots or more. We do a lot of minor subdivisions at the planning commission, creating 2-3 lots from one lot.
Right.
So those wouldn't count. We're talking about
Correct.
10 or more.
Designated through,
Approved
planning.
by the planning commission.
Planning, okay. So with this written the way it is, what the people from the island are requesting really, I'm not seeing how you can make it work as this is written. You'd have to almost take this out to be able to.
Right. I mean, if you were to entertain taking out the exceptions identified in section 1702, which is the landscape buffer requirements, landscaping, the setback from the approved subdivision, and the minimum lot size, then yeah, there'd be a ripple effect that we'd have to go and possibly amend or tweak some
You'd have
other
to-
portions of the ordinance.
They would have to be specifically identified in those exceptions.
Or you could consider creating an exception a little bit deeper, an exception of the exception for Ile de Jean Charles. Well, you could say, I mean, a lot of these exceptions are for locations outside of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection System, right?
Okay.
But if the folks in the Ile de Jean Charles area said, no,
They want
we're
stronger-
outside of the system, but we still want those things, then we could carve them out so that they would,
Correct.
outside of the Morganza to the Gulf Hurricane Protection System,
Excluded,
except for Ile de Jean
Charles.
Charles or
Right,
something
okay.
like that.
But that could be done.
Yeah.
And then one other thing is, like I said, I just took the pages out that I was concerned with.
Oh, yeah.
It's site plan, it's item H. It's site plan, planning and zoning department may accept hand-drawn plans or required drawings from a licensed professional. And then it states, how it goes through under that. My concern is, why do we need a licensed professional to draw squares on a piece of paper when everything's designated? It has to be 15 feet from here, or 10 feet from there, or 20 feet from there. I mean, anybody has to be approved. It has to be approved by the planning commission, and I guess our engineering also. So why would we require these people to have a licensed professional just draw basically a sketch on a piece of paper?
Yeah. Well, I think most of them would be a sketch on a piece of paper that wouldn't require a licensed professional.
says it
We do-
here.
I'll cover it. I mean, we get a lot of that even in the permit office. If it's legible and it complies and it's got everything dimensioned out, that'll be accepted. But if they continue to bring.
We can't just say it and
Yeah.
not have no teeth to it, okay? As it's written here, and my understanding is we can't change anything tonight, so my suggestion is that we either kill it or we put it off until we get these changes fixed.
I mean, we could say, well, we're not approving it tonight, but if you amend it and come back, we call for another public hearing and hold it over again.
Yeah.
I mean, we can look at striking that or require drawings from a licensed
And then we
professional.
can also address the island's issue.
Or may accept hand-drawn plans or drawings from a licensed professional.
I mean,
Take the word required out.
right. And I'm okay with that. But like I said, I just think it's kind of foolish to force, now, any structures, I understand we need to
Yeah.
have, structural engineers and whatever drawing them up, and naturally the sewage and the water
mean-
and electrical, that's all has to be done.
If a RV park, say, is required to have a service building, then that service building has to be drawn by a licensed professional.
And I agree with that. But this has it has no structure, no load bearing, no, it's just a sketchy
Right.
piece of paper is all it is.
Right.
So, okay,
Well, I think that's what it was intended to cover, is like if it's, I think the reason why it says or required drawings, maybe it should be required drawings from a licensed professional. Like if a service building is needed as part of the proposed RV park, I mean, I can't draw that, you
Well,
can't draw that, but a architect or an engineer
somewhere else in
could.
here it says that, I don't have that because I wasn't questioning that. It also says that, basically, if you're gonna have an RV park, you're gonna have to have buildings on it because you gotta have washrooms and facilities and stuff like that per Board of Health.
Well, it says if required.
Right.
So, sometimes the Department of Health does not require that.
Right.
So
Okay.
it's only in the event that if it's required by the Department of Health. Michelle, if we change require to required, is that substantive? Or can we do that and move on? It's been almost a year.
Well, I still think if we're gonna do something with the island.
Yeah, no,
we
you're
still
right.
need to, we still
You're
need
right.
to hold it over, so.
That's
So
substantial.
let's do it all at one time.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
It's a red pen.
Thank you.
Okay,
There is so I agree if you're gonna change more than one section, that you do it all at once, you send it back to committee and you make the revisions and come back. But if you're only gonna change the exception to the island, there's a so right now, there's no regulation at all.
we've
for the
had our
RV.
heads slapped too many times for trying to make changes here
Yeah,
at committee, and
Okay.
I'm not willing to do it.
okay.
All right.
It's an option, just
Okay.
wanted to let you know.
All right, thanks for that, Mr.
And I'm done, thank you.
Pulaski and Mr. Trosclair. Now, Mr. Harding, Ms. Chauvin, you guys still want to go ahead, even though? All right, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, I'm agreeing with Steve and the approach that we're gonna take to revisit this. But then I actually listened to the testimony, when they addressed us, the chief and the council. And one thing I really don't agree with what you said was the fact that you want the same thing you want in the North Terrebonne and the South. I kind of disagree with that because we are very diverse up here, and I'm pretty sure there have been talk within the nation, the combination of the nations that, what I heard is that they were telling you that your land is no good. And now you see people that's coming down there and just turning it in basically to a result. I know the conversation got to be different from what I'm getting it up here and you actually saying, but I'm feeling what you're saying. So I'm supporting you in reference to that. But then there is a difference, and that's why we have to make the adjustment up here to suit the people. Not, it's good to have tourists come here and come catch our fish and go bring it up. If y'all want to call them Yankees, you want to call them Yankees, but Yankees come down and take all our redfish. But still, these are the people that actually, if they made mention of Montague, they made mention of the Chauvin area, made mention of the Dulac area. These are the original people that we actually have to go. And whether Miss Chauvin want to bring her kids down there to learn how to speak French or not, and it is a culture that we should maintain. So I'm very, very supportive of us actually trying to do what we need to do to actually suit the needs of the people and create an avenue for tourism. But then I can't see telling people that their land is no good and then other people coming in and taking a lavish lifestyle with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harding. Ms. Chauvin.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, when I was talking about the kids, just to clarify, it's the elementary kids that live in Chauvin. I don't have elementary kids. My kids go to La Cache. I think it's a wonderful school that they're learning the Cajun French, just to be clear. But I do have another person that is out of Pointe-aux-Chenes, and Connie Fungi came in a little bit late, and so I would like to call her up to see where she stands, because she has RV parks, in Pointe-aux-Chenes and also in Cocodrie area. And I wanted to give her her minute to say what she thinks in owning businesses in both places.
Hi, Connie Forey, 201 Maison Lane, Chauvin, Louisiana. I have a campground, as Kim has mentioned. I have one in Mr. Steve's district and in Kim. I have one inside inside the levee, and I have one outside in the Pointe-aux-Chenes and Cocodrie area. Not to have RVs in our areas, bayou areas especially, will be devastated to our communities. It's a way of what people are now using, because homeowners, the price of insurance is through the roof. Again, they can't afford to pay the insurance, so they do go to campers. 1 or 2, 3 or 4, 5 or 6 on a piece of property. That has nothing, that's considered a park. I have to choose what we were told. Chris, we've had this discussion before. Drawing on the site plan, engineering, I'm gonna skip around too while it's all in my head. The site plans, we have to, when we start, we have to start with 911. Your property has to be a certain footage. From there, we have to go to Courtney at the Board of Health. When Courtney gets everything, the tanks, your sewer, everywhere you're discharged, DEQ, we have this much. I could have brought a book to show you what a phase is. I'm working on 3 phases right now. I'm on my 3rd phase. It's not just going and get a permit. Once I leave Courtney, I have to come to Chris, Terrebonne Planning. If it's not right, you're not going forward.
Connie, my question to you would be, what in this would you want to change? What makes sense to you in all of this, meaning you have one in Pointe-aux-Chenes and one in Cocodrie?
Okay, so
how can I help you to manage your businesses as you need to manage them in a way that regulations work?
So I wasn't aware what was changed. What was it? The last meeting I came to, it was going to be the levy, the cutoff was at South Terrebonne. It wouldn't have affected anyone south of South Terrebonne, which we're good.
Okay.
Because, again, I'm in Pointe-aux-Chenes and I'm in Cocodrie. Now it's outside of the levee. I have one, I could throw a rock from here to there to the levee in Pointe-aux-Chenes inside, and I have Cocodrie, I'm outside.
Okay. So Chris, when did that change? And why did it change? So let's look at that.
So it's
Thank
not
you.
South Terrebonne as in South Terrebonne High School.
Okay.
It's South Terrebonne Development Zone,
Okay.
which is a line that was kind of the whole point, was no one could really determine or explain the delineation of that line. But it's a line that parish engineering has used for years to determine in subdivisions who needs drainage calculations and who doesn't. So that line, it's not connected to anything in the landscape. I mean, in some places it follows a bayou or something like that, but it's a lateral. It's a more east or west line.
So can we find it on a GIS map?
Yeah, it's a layer on the GIS map. So but rather than have some arbitrary line that didn't mean much to anybody,
Right.
we said, well, let's make it a little more defined, and that's when, at the discussion at the Planning Commission meeting, it was said, well, why don't we use the Morganza to the Gulf levee system as the determination? And that's when that changed.
Okay.
So that was changed when it was still with the Planning Commission.
Okay.
So when I bought my property in 2007, I had none of this. It's campsites development. So I don't have government grants. I don't have people, I don't have stuff. I work my tail off with a note in my name. I'm not getting help. So I have been doing phases. I'm on phase 3. I still have enough room to do another phase. And we discussed this already, which another $500,000 would be wonderful. I can do it and be finished with my property.
Does this add on any costs
Yeah.
to your phase?
Yes, I would
Okay.
have to, if this stops here and all these going, I have to do the new rules. I'm not grandfathered because I didn't get the permits or anything to do that phase 4. And again, you were on vacation when we did the resilient and went in and met back again. And I cannot get a permit or anything till I go give $45,000 or $75,000 for a tank to show that I'm gonna do it. You only have so much time to do it.
Right.
Yes, Chris can give me an extension. Something happens to Chris, and I don't have it in writing, I'm holding a tank for $75,000, and where do I go?
Okay, but this is my question. What is the extra cost to you for doing these? Have you like looked at it and?
If I was to do the next phase, about
Right.
$500,000.
It's an extra 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right.
And that's doing it the way I just did it. Now, if I have to do cement roads and fire hydrants and landscape and another bathhouse and whatever else they want me to, it's.
Right. Okay, now that helps.
Engineer.
Roads, though.
No, mine's not. If I had
in
to.
here.
Okay, so they changed that because the last time it was cement road, DOT roads, which I passed that because I'm
It's
better
crushed
than DOT.
aggregate surface constructed to
Now.
DOT standard.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we were talking about was, she's got, 3 phases of an existing RV park that would be grandfathered in. Any existing RV park would be grandfathered in. But any addition to an RV park would have to be in accord or compliant with these regulations. So what we were telling her was, if you get your application in, like right now, without any regulations, basically what most people all are applying for is trade permits for utilities, and if they're putting in asphalt or concrete pads or something, then they get permits for that. So if she were able to come in and apply for those now, before these regulations become effective, you're grandfathered in based on the date of the permit application if it's not something that's already open and in the ground. So she could get in. It's kind of like when new building codes go into effect August 1st and July 31st. Miracle, we have a whole ton of permit applications on that day. There's a reason for that. And so that's what we were explaining. But what she's explaining too is that before she can even get to us with the permit, one of the prerequisites is that pink slip approval from the Department of Health,
Okay.
which is where you're having to get the tank and all that stuff.
Right, and like I said, I had gone in and I have to do the site plan and it's just extended off, but I can't get it. You can give it to me. But again, something happens to you and I have that 160 days or 60 days or whatever it's gonna be.
Well, you could apply and we would just not issue it until
Again.
Until it comes in.
But
Okay.
again, if something happens,
Okay, let me ask you this. When you said it would cost an extra 500,000, that's not the tank, because you're gonna have to get that anyway, correct? So the extra $500,000 is pertaining to the new regulations?
that would be, no, that was just to do it the way I did, like I just did a phase. So if I had to do cement or whatever asphalt crunch now, it's double what I paid, triple what I paid. You still have to do cement pads, which I have, all the electrical underneath, 3-phase,
Okay,
the pylons, the panels, the poles,
okay.
the plumbing, the wiring.
That's the cost of making an RV park. That's extra from
The
this?
tank,
I know, but listen,
and then
listen.
the phase.
No. I'm understanding what you're saying as that is the cost of putting an RV park together. What I'm asking you is the extra that it would cost you,
$500,000.
500,000. Okay, just want to be clear. Just want to be clear on that. All right.
All right, you're good, Ms. Chauvin?
Sit down and show you what I have
All right.
already. too.
Okay. Mr. Amity?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chris, talking about this line, does that run through the south portion of the parish? It's not like just Chauvin, Pointe-aux-Trembles, Montague. It goes through Dularge, Dulac as well?
Correct.
Okay, because that's something that I was speaking with Ms. Chauvin about in our discussions on this, because like Mr. Harding said, the north and the south, two different creatures. Up in the north, we've got $500,000, $1 million homes that somebody wants to put an RV park next to, which is going to severely affect their property values. That's why I asked for the 1,000-foot buffer to be put in. So to me, it makes sense to have that line in there, because what Ms. Connie and her brothers and all are doing down there is a different kind of park. It's not like Hideaway Ponds up in Gibson. You know, I know several people that have these parks where these people come in to fish kokodry and such, and they just come in there, whereas other people are actually camping in them. So I mean, I would kind of like to see that be put in there so that it can affect those areas different. I know Todd real well, and we talk about this all the time. And it was mentioned that people are resorting to this for housing. But they're not built to live in, you know? They're recreational vehicles. So I understand the difficulties that people are having, but sometimes, you know, you have to protect the public from themselves. So if they're doing them to live in, then to me, that's a mobile home park, not an RV park. And I mean, I have them on my street, and I live in Gray, and we have them in Schriever as well, and I'm just trying to protect, because we have a lot of development. I'm just saying that we've been kicking this can down the road for a long time, and I don't have a problem holding it a little bit longer to make these couple of changes that Steve was talking about, because they make sense. But ultimately, we need to have something, and I think by drawing that line and giving some different criteria for what's above that line and what's below that line, I think that makes sense as well. So let's consider that as we consider Steve's changes as well. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amity. Mr. Trosclair?
Yeah, one more thing. Okay, in Ms. Forgay's situation, she's waiting on phase 4. And I'm gonna say I didn't do my job like I should have. I didn't read this ordinance thoroughly, front to back. I kind of skimmed it and highlighted things that I want to talk about. And I don't recall seeing anything that a person applying for this permit can appeal it to the council for a grievance, variance. And, I was told, and I think we need to have that in there. If it's not, and I'm not saying it is or it isn't, I really don't know. It is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well,
Section 1711 is variances to the planning commission. And then any appeal of any decision by the planning commission comes to you guys.
Okay, and that's fine, because that gives Ms. Foggy an avenue to come back to the council. If she gets rejected for her phase 4, she can appeal to the council, and I promise you, I'll support you being able to build it at least to the standards of your first 3 phases.
Why are you in office?
And because there's no reason that it shouldn't be, because that's met every code up until today, okay? So, as long as you have an avenue to come back to the council, you have, I think, a really good chance of bypass, or not, I'm not gonna say bypass, but getting a variance to where you can build to at least what you have already. You can't go less, but at least you can go that way or more. And so if that's language is already in here, and like I said, I didn't see it, okay. So it's there. So if you get anybody, I'm speaking to you because you're at the podium, but if you get to a point where, you know, you can't, they giving you a problem and they rejecting your permit for what, because you don't want to plant 10 trees, well, you can come to the council and appeal it, and we can override it. So that's another avenue to kind of relieve some of your pressure. Because I don't want you to have to spend $500,000 either.
No.
You know,
I'm
it's
sure what's on the
ridiculous.
last one.
It's
And,
ridiculous. You'd have to let it be 110 to get your money
But
back.
again, you know, considering we spend this kind of money and take the chances of getting notes and working through it, it just shows you that we're trying to get the people here, and people come to our area. You know, they support the bayous, the Homa, hardwares. You know, I mean, we've been through this again and again and again. Fishermen, you know, property tax. But where do you tell? How do you tell? Because I can't.
Well, I had this
You know-
conversation with the parish president and Mr. Lee Red Monday. You know, everybody thinks that everybody comes in to the parish, through the north of the parish, who want to make sure it's pretty when they get here. Well, most of them are driving to the south end.
And
They're going down there.
and they want to stay. You know, the
Outside people, I'm talking about, you know,
Yeah,
I'm talking
I
about
have a lot
tourists.
of outside people too, and
So-
the people enjoy. People, bayou areas are the best people.
Right.
You know, they're best. The
Well, all of our
hospitality,
people are good
everything. Yeah,
people.
you know, it's
All
just
of our
good
people in
people.
Terrebonne Parish
You
are
know,
good people. But
Parish is good people.
because we
you
all
know?
start out bayou people.
But again, where do you tell someone that you can't live in this RV? I mean, how do you? That have nothing.
Well, I mean, that's
Where do
not
you
what I'm
put 'em?
fighting right here. That's that.
But, I mean, where
but
do
I
you
want to
put
make the RV ordinance where it works for the RV owners, and that's what I'm trying to do, and so that's all I got. Thank you.
Can I clarify something too that I've heard is,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
in the standards, whether you have concrete or asphalt pads, that's not a requirement in these proposed ordinances. Now, if the RV park owner wants to do that, go right ahead. But we're not requiring that, just like we're not requiring concrete or asphalt driveways. If they want to do it, great, but it's not a requirement.
You're requiring the service buildings.
If the Department of Health requires
They
it, then
do.
yeah.
They do.
But there are waivers
one.
on that too.
I have one.
Okay, so it would be, Mr. Babin?
Just one quick, Connie, and listen, I know your numbers. I don't, when I read out of this, I don't see where the $500,000 just seems pretty exorbitant to me, okay? And I'm sure, and I want to sit down with you so you can prove it to me. I just don't see where this ordinance, because of the exceptions that Chris just got through saying, that you have the option to do it another way. You may want to do it because your other three phases are like that, so consequently it would be $500,000. That's a business decision, so to speak. I don't think and I don't know, okay, but it doesn't seem to me that the ordinance is creating a $500,000 hiccup for you. It's the quality of the park that you want to put in. So again, I agree with Steve. We need to readdress some of this, that we need to take Ile de Jean Charles in. What they're asking affects you as well, because then it puts you within the same system as everybody else, okay? So, again, I want to sit down with you and find out about that. We're going to delay this. We're gonna hold it off.
And the $500,000 is not what they cost. It's what it costs. Like I said, I have cement pads. I could go to dirt roads.
No, but
You know,
but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood that this regulation is not gonna cost you an additional $500,000.
No, it's not
It's what
regulated,
you
it's my
wanna
own.
build is gonna cost
But I have
an
to
additional.
get my permit. I have to get my tank and stuff started.
And I understand that, but remember, some of this is Board of Health. It's not necessarily us.
But I have to
okay?
start
So-
there.
Right, no, I know. All right, but we'll get together.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, third and final call, public. Oh, come on, sir.
Mr. Pledger, keep it up.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Name and address for the record.
Absolutely.
All right,
My name is Jody Billiot, live at 310 Mauler here in town. I'm also a councilman with the Paunacha Indian Tribe. And so I think to kind of clear up or to give a little clarity to why we're fighting so hard to have the island included. One, it's the island people, the people who came from there want to be included in the stricter regulations. I know that may be inconvenient for some people, but those people are the majority there, or they're the majority landowners for that area. And what we're talking about with these two communities, Lower Paunacha and Ile de Jean Charles, these are two of the last vestiges of predominantly Indian peoples. So I know there are some people who want to make money. I'm not against that. But what I am against is doing it at the risk of displacing these people further, displacing my people and displacing the people from Ile de Jean Charles more. That's kind of what I have on that. And if anybody has any questions for me or any comments, I just wanted to put that out there, why we're fighting so hard for it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any others on that third and final call, public? Yep, come on up. Hey, come on up. No, come on up, you're good, it's open. It's public comment. Name and address for the record. Name.
204 Constant Street.
Okay.
So I keep hearing the Board of Health is what's pushing the service building. But I was at the Board of Health a couple weeks ago to get a pink slip to add 5 more spots. And my septic tank, it could hold 5, but it's a 3,000 gallon tank. It could hold 24, but in the past, I put 2 washers, so it kind of downsized it. So I told the lady, I said, well, let's just say I pull these washers off. Can I get my other spots back? She tells me, well, the parish is requiring a service building. I said, well, the parish is telling me y'all require it. She said, we had a meeting on this. And so that's what I'm trying to figure out.
That's a Chris's question there. Yeah. Get out of the way.
We do not require a service building. That is the Department of Health. It's in the plumbing code.
Okay.
Now, we can issue waivers if there are some certain instances where a service building would not be required if the park is for like workforce housing, like a man camp or whatever it's called. But that's the only time the parish, through our chief building official, can make those sort of exceptions.
Okay.
But the service building requirement comes from the Department of Health.
Easy enough. Should answer your question, sir. Come on. Yes, sir. Name and address for the record, please.
Dwayne Bazeron, 221 Inglewood Way. I'm just looking for some clarification. I'm actually looking to start an RV park in Dulac. My property is in the South Terrebonne Development Zone. And I contracted Milford and Associates to do drawings and everything to present to the Planning Commission for my permits and all. And he informed me that about the land requirement, the size. So I'm just looking for clarity of what's the do's and don'ts on that area.
Okay, Mr. Pulaski, you mind?
Again.
Don't leave this time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You answered most of it.
Yeah, so right now, I mean, these regulations aren't in effect.
Okay, well, that's why he had stopped me and said that I was voting on it tonight, that
Yeah.
they'd be putting it in effect tonight.
Correct.
So, because
as it's written on here, as it was presented, that cutoff line that Mr. Jean is referring you to because of the minimum size requirement would only apply if you were outside of the would not apply if you were outside of the Morganza, but it sounds like you're inside of.
well,
You're in,
it's inside the levee protection, but
yeah,
it's in,
okay.
but
You're in that South Terrebonne development zone.
Correct.
So, like Mr. John was saying earlier, we might take that demarcation line that is proposed to be Morganza to the Gulf and move it a little bit north to be the South Terrebonne development zone line, which if that's true, all those exceptions here, including minimum lot size, would apply. So the 5 acre minimum wouldn't apply to you.
Right, and that was the question, because I was in the levee system, but
Yeah.
also in the southern development,
So you would want that change that Mr. John was talking about,
right?
right?
Okay.
So basically what we'd be doing, folks, is that demarcation line, I mean, there's fewer properties, of course, outside of the system than inside, so you're just, the exception would apply to more properties than as it was presented.
Okay. Okay.
Is that map accurate?
Yeah, that's it. So the hazy area is,
Yeah, cause see, I'm right there.
yeah, you're in it,
So I'm
you're
right-
in it.
I'm right in it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Chris. I think we're good. We don't have any more
all I
speakers
got.
on that. So,
I'm done?
sure.
Again, Martin Beasley, representing Boudreaux Canal Rentals, 6304 Tave Drive, and I own and operate a 45-space RV park there. I just want to say for the record that I'd hate to see people who all they can afford to is live in an RV. That's all they have. I'd hate to see those people made outlaws the day that this ordinance passes because it's no longer legal to live in that RV. I mean, sure, it's not approved by the government, but if it's all somebody can afford, I mean, is it okay for somebody to pitch a tent and live that in their yard? I don't know, but I just would hate to see that go into effect. Also, I looked at Terrebonne Parish campgrounds and measured them, and 62% of the campgrounds in your parish are less than 2 acres, 75% are less than 3 acres. So to get a 5-acre parcel for a campground is difficult, especially in coastal areas when there's not that much land. Also, when you're talking about a 5-acre parcel as a minimum for a campground area, does that include 5 acres of area suitable for a campground, or can I have 100 acres of wetlands, of which 1/10 of an acre is suitable to build an RV park, whereas I have 4.5 acres that's all suitable for an RV park, but I can't because I don't have 5-acre parcel to build that. So you have to consider those 5 acres, are those buildable, or is that suitable for an RV park, or do you have 100 acres of wetlands there? And you still get to go into the system for that. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Michelle?
Yes, sir, thank you. Just one point to make. The ordinance that we have before you tonight will not mark the point where it's illegal to make your RV a residential property. It's already illegal to make your RV a residential property in Terrebonne Parish.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I'll make a motion to close public.
All right, motion to close public by Mr. Steve Trosclair, second by Mr. John Amity. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes.
We hold over to the next meeting, send it back to committee to make the changes that we spoke about tonight.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Steve Trosclair to send this ordinance back to committee for further discussion, and second by Mr. Kevin Champon. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, and
Mr.
just,
Oh, sorry. go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, what we'll do is just take what we've heard tonight and kind of put together a draft, and that's what we'll upload for the committee agenda in 2 weeks. I'm sorry? Right, but we'll try and get a jump start on the,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, just for the folks that are here, make sure that you watch, because it will be going back to committee, and at that time, you're more than welcome to come back and share your views and things like that too as well. Community development planning, so you can go on our website and find that meeting in 2 weeks on a Monday at 5:30, and you guys can come back out and share your concerns and thoughts too as well. All right, moving on. Item E, an ordinance authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, TPCG, and Dara Bennett for the continuation right of use of 1414 Dr. Beatrice Road, Terrio, Louisiana, 70397, as part of the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program within Terrebonne Parish. First call public. Second call public. Third, final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item F, an ordinance authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, TPCG, and Toby Henry for the continuation right of use of 4644 Bayou Side Drive, Chauvin, Louisiana, 70344, as part of the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program within Terrebonne Parish. First call public. Second call public. Third final call public. Motion to close, Ms. Kim Chauvin, second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Ms. Kim Chauvin, second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. An ordinance authorizing the parish president to execute a cooperative endeavor agreement between Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, TPCG, and Kenneth and Mona Champagne for the continuation right of use of 6103 Grand Caillou Road, Houma, Louisiana, 70363, as part of the FEMA Hazard Mitigation Grant Program within Terrebonne Parish. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. Carl Harding. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. An ordinance to declare as surplus adjudicated property located at Bayou Grand Caillou Waterway Parcel Number 27658, in which the parish has 35% and to address other matters relative thereto. I'm sorry? Okay, I'll read it over again for you. How about that? An ordinance to declare as surplus adjudicated property located at Bayou Caillou, WW, parcel number 27658, in which the parish has 35% and to address other matters relative thereto. First call public. Second call public. Third final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Kevin Champagne. Second, Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. Kevin Champagne. Second, Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item I, an ordinance declare as surplus and to authorize the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government to surplus vehicles no longer needed for public purposes to the Terrebonne Parish Fire District Number 8 for the fire protection in Terrebonne Parish, Louisiana, and to authorize the Terrebonne Parish President to execute the necessary documents to effectuate the donation and to provide for related matters. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. John Amity. Second, Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. John Amity. Second, Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Item J, an ordinance to amend section 2-406E through G in Article 13 of Chapter 2 of the Terrebonne Parish Code of Ordinances, Cultural Facilities, to enact a provision to authorize the parish president to waive rental fees at the Barry P. Boveland Civic Center for governmental entities hosting civic, safety, educational, health, and economic events, which are made open to the public. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. Danny Babin, second, Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item K, an ordinance to amend the 2026 adopted operating budget of the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government for the following items. Item 1, CDBG DR Program Income Projects, $8,307,285. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Mr. Carl Harding. Members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion is adopted. An ordinance to authorize the acquisition of sites and/or servitudes required for the Brady Road Bridge Replacement Project, 20-BRG-33, to authorize the parish president or his designee, the chief administrative officer, to execute any and all documents necessary to acquire sites and/or servitudes for the said purposes, to authorize the parish legal staff to commence exploration proceedings in the event the site and/or servitudes cannot be obtained conventionally, to declare that the taking, if required, is necessary or useful for the benefit of the public, and to provide for other matters relative thereto. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Motion to adopt, Mr. Danny Babin. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 8-0, motion passes. Item M, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances to establish a 15-mile-per-hour speed limit zone along the entirety of South Dupree Street in Montague, Louisiana. First call public. Second call public. Third and final call public. Motion to close by Mr. Steve Trosclair. Second, Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, motion passes. Motion to adopt by Mr. Steve Trosclair, second by Mr. John Amity. Members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0, ordinance is adopted. Okay. Item B, Councilman John Amity requested discussion regarding council members' decorum and actions during meetings. Mr. John Amity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And to my colleagues, those listening, I just want to speak a moment on the matter of decorum. By definition, decorum is behavior that reflects good taste and propriety, conforming to the standards our constituents expect of us. Lately, I think that we've sort of started to drift away from that standard, and I just wanted to bring it up to kind of pull things back in, because I believe that while healthy debate is the lifeblood of our work, sometimes we allow ourselves to become bogged down with petty and argumentative issues. If we look toward the future of Terrebonne Parish, we can see that we're coming to a critical crossroad. And I think it's going to take all of us working together to see this parish through. A lot of times people don't realize what's going to happen. But right now, thanks to Mr. Cohen Guidry and the TITA board, we have a rare opportunity with that current leadership to attract a true diversity of industry. You know, we've always been relying on the oil and the services industries. We have the medical. And I always believe that we needed to get some tech and some manufacturing in here as well. And they've been doing a fantastic job, so I commend them on that. Having followed TITA and different leadership through the years, these guys are really putting the feet to the pavement and getting some things done. But you know, these companies are not going to come to a house that's divided, because they look for stability. They look for infrastructure. That, you know, if we don't get our roads fixed, they're not going to come in here with their trucks so that their trucks can be beat up. They're going to need power grids that can sustain them. That's one of the things that we have to look forward to in the future, especially with the rebuilding of our power plant and future additions to that plant in order to attract these people. If you look up north in the Shreveport area and all, with the data centers that they're building, they're having to build plants just to be able to operate these things. And I think, you know, we're not going to be able to secure the funding for these necessities if we're distracted by what I consider non-issue things. So, and I think we're starting to head down into the right direction. And I'm just asking everybody if we can tone down a little bit the friction, and let's refocus again on why we serve, and that's to govern, so that we can work toward the same goal. We can work towards a parish that's ready for the future. Because I've seen, and many of you, I'm 62, many of you my age or older have seen what happened to Morgan City because they weren't focused and they almost became a ghost town. They've been able to recover somewhat, but not to the extent of what they could be. And I want to make sure that when we hand off Terrebonne Parish to the next generation, that it's handed off to them with a lasting future. So again, just please, guys, consider my words. It's just something that's been weighing on me that I just wanted to say. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Item 8, vacancies to various boards, committees, and commissions. Recreation District Number 2-3 Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Recreation District Number 3A Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Recreation District Number 5 Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Koto Fire Protection District Board, 1 expired term and 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Downtown Development Corporation, 1 expired term representing the EDAB Council. Houma Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Terrebonne Parish Tree Board, 2 expired terms. Houma Area Convention and Visitors Bureau, 1 vacancy due to a resignation. Representing a civic nonprofit organization. Terrebonne Parish Advisory Committee for Disability Affairs, 4 vacancies representing each of the following entities. 1 representing Options for Independence, and 2 representing the parish president, and 1 representing the general public. Announcements, Mr. Parish President.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So in our continuing effort to make sure our residents' voices are heard, we have a town hall tomorrow night, February 26th at 6 p.m. at Devon Keller Memorial Center in Gibson. We have a few events going on this weekend. The Cast Iron Cook-Off, Saturday, February 28th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Courthouse Square and Rotary Centennial Plaza. We have a farmer's market at the Marina, Saturday, March 7, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Downtown Marina. And we have an Easter Extravaganza, Saturday, March 7th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Courthouse Square. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Council members, Ms. Kim Chauvin.
On March 4th, they have Read Across America at the South Regional Library, where a few of us will be reading books to the children, so we invite you to come out. We have a special craft for the kids on that day, but all week long, they will be having a number of different things going on at the South Regional Library. Also, March 11th is the proclamation for late Constable Daniel Trahan that will be held here. And April 4th will be the South Regional Library Plant Exchange. Thank you.
Ms. Chauvin, Mr. Babin.
Yeah, we talked a lot tonight about bridges, and we've been having some continual problems with the pontoon bridge in Dulac. Our communications department has been putting out good information. You know, there's times we close it for 3 or 4 hours because it's an electrical problem. So I'm just trying to make everyone aware, keep a tone to Facebook and the communications department putting their information out. And then I, in turn, and I know Ms. Chauvin does, try to pass it on our Facebooks when the pontoon bridge is in operation and when it's not in operation. I think we're fine right now, but it's like any other structure. This is an old one, and it needs to go in dry dock. So right now, please be aware that we may have some outages, and maybe Mr. Bergeron can add to that.
Yeah, I just want to add, you know, unfortunately, sometimes we have to put until further notice because we've got to troubleshoot the issue. And we do try to get an update out. But for those that are not on Facebook, if they go to smart911.com, they can sign up for text alerts for different categories, one of those being roads and bridges. And that's a way of an opportunity for us to get the message out to all residents, whether you're on Facebook or not. Just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
I got one thing I'd just like to say. I would like to share something. In the spirit of us, everyone recognizing the impactful people here in our parish, within our state, within our nation. I'd just like to take this time to have a moment of silence for a great man in our lives that's done a lot for this nation and done a lot for me too as well. As far as leadership, Mr. Jesse Jackson passed away recently, as we all know, and I'd just like for us to take a second just to give that moment of silence for him. Thank you all. I entertain a motion by Mr. Clyde Hamner, motion to adjourn. Second, Ms. Kim Chauvin. Seeing no lights, members, vote your machines. Votes 9-0. Good evening.
Something